concept, and these people think it's funny that...
Yeah, it's funny until it happens to them. After it happens to them, it's a problem. Welcome, acolytes. Today I'm reacting to Rev. News Nijisanji allegations are disturbing, and as you can hear, I am still sick pretty strongly. In this case, it's already the third day. The last two videos were actually pre-recorded where I would have driven to a friend, but this sadly didn't happen, and it won't happen because, well, I'm so sick. And yes, it will be a bit low energy because, well, I'm sick, but I still cannot just skip this Nijisanji thing because, well, it's interesting. Nijisanji is something that Rev just loves to do. I love to hear about, so just gonna do it, and let's just start. And by the way, if you like my content, leave a like, subscribe, press this one, and let's start.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we have several examples of VTuber related controversies to cover, but we're going to begin with another round of allegations being made against Nijisanji that are quite serious.
I mean, as always, it's nothing special by now.
Now this all begins with Kore, who is a Japanese YouTuber whose coverage of the forever ongoing Rushi and Mafu situation was pretty extensive, and he is once again getting a lot of attention for a post he made earlier this morning.
Okay, good. The Mafu situation, I do not know, but let's just accept it.
See, in about 12 hours as of recording this video, it has nearly 20 million views and 72,000 likes. This is the post, of course, translated by Google here. Let me read this. We will report violations committed by those involved with the VTuber agency Nijisanji. The damage mainly involved secretly recording the VTubers who operate while hiding their faces while they are at work and disseminating the footage to third parties. He also sends her messages making fun of her appearance. The mere existence of people like this in the industry will only increase the number of victims, and since the VTuber herself is unaware that she has been secretly filmed at the whistleblower's request, the footage will be made public on a live broadcast at 10:30 p.m. on Sunday, September 1st. Now to...
So wait, if I understand it, what the fuck? They are recording someone unwillingly and then just release it. What the fuck?
To summarize what we just read, essentially a whistleblower has come forward claiming that some people at Nijisanji are secretly recording some of the VTubers there and then are sharing these recordings with other parties, and on top of that are making fun of the appearance of these targeted VTubers. And you can see there's examples down here. Kore does a sufficient job censoring what he's showing, but I'm just not even going to take a chance on it. And again, at the whistleblower's request, some more footage will be made live this Sunday on September 1st. So this is a very serious set of allegations.
I mean, that's serious. Serious isn't even well explained here. Serious, that's borderline freaking illegal. I mean, on the other end, it's Nijisanji, so what the F are we expecting here? But at the end of the day, for F's sake, really? Really? I mean, yeah, I just accept it.
That feels new and also familiar, because on the one hand, there's more bullying going on at Nijisanji. You can see people getting made fun of and attacked by people within the agency itself. And on top of that, a very, very serious threat to the privacy of these VTubers, whether it's one VTuber or multiple VTubers are being secretly recorded. This is a very big deal. Number one, in general, violating someone's anonymity in their career is a huge privacy violation and a threat to their safety. But on top of that, if you look at the context of this, it makes it even worse. This is the...
I mean, it's not just that. It's also the fact that sometimes people just don't want to show their faces. It's simple as that. I mean, I personally do not actually care that much about it, but I also don't really want to show my face if I don't have to, especially because I had this freaking character in my mind. I'm quite happy about this character, and I would want that this character stays as it is. I mean, after a while, or even maybe after a certain sub point, I will reveal my face, but it has to be, first of all, worth it, and second of all, I have to lose weight before I do it. It's not even a thing, it's just something I actually wanted to do.
Japanese branch of Nijisanji, where idol culture is much more present. Of course, anonymity is a global thing, like everyone experiences, but within idol culture, there's also this extra layer where, as a VTuber, you are expected to not show your face. It's kind of taboo to show your real life face.
Really? It's taboo? Okay. I mean, it would make sense. To a certain point, I actually understand it, because it actually just destroys the illusion. So yeah, I understand the thinking behind it. But would I say it's good? I mean, I don't think so. I think there is more negative than positive behind it. But at the end of the day, hey, if this is how it is, then it is how it is.
So this person understanding that context in the Japanese office is still doing this, and it's very, very disgusting if this is true. Again, huge violation of privacy and a threat to their safety.
Yet the violation of privacy is actually way worse than the threat to their personal life. And yeah, now that I think about it a bit more, by finding your face, actually malicious people can way easier find out who you are, what you're doing, and what the F is actually going on here. So yeah, it's a bad thing from finish to start.
And a lot of people are also looking at Nijisanji itself and the wages they pay some of their lower employees in the company. And yeah, there's questions about their hiring process and the type of people that would accept such low pay. Maybe they're not the most qualified or trustworthy people, and it might lead to things like this. But obviously, this is an ongoing situation and something we will see more of in the coming day or so. But on top of that, relating to this whole violation of privacy with the showing of faces and other things, I want to return to the knock feature that I talked about in a recent video. To summarize this very quickly, there was a much criticized new feature recently released on Twitch called the knock feature. It essentially allows you to...
Oh, the knock feature, yeah. The more I actually think about it, the less I like it. It's just freaking intrusive. I mean, you either come across like an asshole or you come across like an asshole. It's, no matter what you do, it's actually bad. You either let yourself being basically molested by people, even if you don't want to talk with them specifically, or just say, nah, I don't want you around me right now, and people get it like, oh my god, he's such an a-hole about it. Blah, 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 blah. So no matter what you do, it's not correct.
Knock on another streamer's broadcast and it says, hey, I want to collaborate with you. Now, this can be abused in many different ways, and it's also a very intrusive feature that people really don't like. It seems completely unnecessary in the first place, and it's been heavily criticized. In fact, the top replies of this tweet are roasting it, and you can see the 4 replies here are all from VTubers. This is a policy that VTubers in particular really dislike. And it got even worse when the Twitch ambassador who came forward to claim responsibility for this feature had a Google Doc dropped on them 2 days later, a 57-page document going through what can be very lightly described as creepy behavior. And this is something I covered in this video. I'll put a link to it in the description because, quite frankly, I think this is an ongoing situation we might have to revisit. However, there was another big concern going on with this knock feature. At first, there was partial misinformation, a half-truth about this feature where people were claiming that you could essentially knock request on someone else's stream, and if that person accepted it, it would activate your camera and show your face on stream. Now, that is partially untrue. You can't do that to other people. However, if you knock on someone else's stream and they accept, if you had your camera previously activated, it would activate your camera after you requested someone else.
Oh no, that's even, oh, that's fucked up. Really? Holy shit, that's even worse. Who the fuck thought that this is a good idea? So not even... No matter what you do, you're fucked. And just... It can reveal your face just like that. It's... Okay. Yeah. Twitch. Yep. Twitch.
And they accepted. Obviously, if you're a VTuber and you've previously activated your camera and this happened, you just got your face revealed on live stream. Huge violation of privacy, and that is something that Twitch took several days to address. Not just to fix it, but address it and say, my bad, person who just had their face shown on the internet and might be kept forever.
Oopsie, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest. For stuff like that, they should be sued. Okay. They should be sued for that. It's just, what the fuck? But yeah, doxing is legal in most cases, so... it's really like legally, you have no freaking chances, but morally, Twitch should actually get a really hard freaking hit for this.
Are bad on that, but we fixed it, so keep enjoying the knock feature that everyone already hates to begin with. And if you want to see some really disturbing stuff, go into the comments of this tweet in particular, and you'll see a bunch of normies making fun of the VTubers who had this happen to them, and making fun of their very simple request for privacy. Apparently that's something that is not a universal concept, and these people think it's funny that...
Yeah, it's funny until it happens to them. After it happens to them, it's a problem. You will see. That's a normal thing that human beings do. I would say it's still shitty. Because if you don't want your privacy revealed, then don't. And that's why I said that not even 5 minutes ago, yeah, just there should be a case for suing them.
These VTubers had this happen to them. It's really disturbing stuff. Like I always say, the second you think VTubing is mainstream and heavily accepted, you have moments like this and you see how a lot of normies react to this stuff, and they still have a vicious level of aggression towards VTubers, and really anything related to that as well. But let's move on to another situation.
I mean, VTubers are just the next target. YouTubers were the first. Then there came something else. Now VTubers are on it just because it's something new. And I mean, still people are just basically pissed off because they think that it's such an easy job. And I mean, they are correct about it. But if it's such an easy job, do it. Try it yourself. The thing about YouTube is it's an easy job. But you actually need some kind of... you have a very small chance of actually succeeding in it. Did I already succeed? No. But I'm actually going in that direction. So at least that. But I also won't sit down, bitch about it and say, well, it's such an easy job. No, it's just with a low chance of actually succeeding in it. Because it's so easy that a lot of people do it. And if you have a lot of people actually wanting the place you want, you have a small chance of actually getting the place. It's that simple. Simple math.
Situation that once again circles back to Nijisanji. So Dokibird recently announced that she will be participating in a Street Fighter 6 tournament called Seijin Slam.
Nice.
And right at the same time, Nijisanji EN's Victoria Brightshield announced that she is also participating in this same tournament. Now, of course, you have Dokibird and a Nijisanji member in the same tournament, and there is some concerns about what that's going to do. And also, I think it's very important to understand that in this case, there is no bad blood between Dokibird and Brightshield. They have no issue with each other, but this is something to do with...
No. And it's good that they don't have any quarrels with each other, but pure from a moral standpoint, I wouldn't even consider talking to Brightshield. If I was on in Doki's shoes, I would just say, yeah, okay, she exists, fine, good. Let's continue.
Dokibird and Nijisanji, and apparently Nijisanji made several requests and stipulations that had to be fulfilled in order for Dokibird and Bright Shield to exist in this collab together, essentially requiring that Dokibird and Bright Shield will not be on the same team and they will not be on the same skill division, and essentially they will have no interaction.
Oh, okay. I still wanted to see Doki kick her ass. Just the corporate versus the private. The private one wins. The corporate loses, but well, won't see that. Too bad.
During this tournament. So let's hear what Dokibird had to say specifically about some of these conditions.
Okay, so apparently the conditions that they gave the organizers was that there has to be 0 interactions between me and them. That means we won't be on the same team and they will not be in my skill division. Obviously, I'm going to be in the beginner level and also I'm going to get like absolutely destroyed. But they will not be in that skill division, so we will not fight 1v1. And Sejam even asked me if I was okay and comfortable with it a few days ago. And if I was really uncomfortable and stressed out about the whole situation, they won't let them participate. I was honestly like really surprised that he even gave me that option.
Doki, he gave you that option. And yes, I'm gonna be honest, it would be right now, because I'm gonna be honest, I think I know what she decided. Let's just hear what she decided.
Since this was like the first time anyone has ever like asked this of me, and like he didn't have to do that, and I won't lie, I was really anxious, but I said it is not fair to kick the player out when they were not involved or responsible, especially when I know they're very passionate about fighting games and the FGC community. They really want to be here, and I will not take that.
Okay, as I thought, she actually allowed it. I would have said, okay, if you ask me and give me the option, I would say no, kick the Nijisanji person out. Now why would I do that? It's not because I would have a grudge against the person. As Doki said, she didn't participate in it, it's fine. No grudges against the person personally. But for the event itself, it's better that they don't associate with Nijisanji itself, because it's a very toxic association, like with Sweet Baby Inc. I would have told them, if it's for me, I wouldn't do it because of those reasons, but inherently I have nothing against it. So, yes, I would say, from my perspective, it was a mistake actually letting the Nijisanji person participate in this way. Not because of personal grudges, but purely because of the negatives for the for the people that actually organize those things. You might say, but wait, don't they get like a boost of people that way? Yes, they get a boost of people that way, but at the end of the day, if you have a bully in your chat, this bully will potentially scare 50 normal people away just because they want to bully them. That's why, if you have a bully, instantly get it out. Or at least use the bully as an excuse. That, okay, here is the thing why I ban people. This is why. Because yes, even in my chats, I delete people. Or even the last guy that actually was suddenly toxic as F. I just wrote down, no, you're staying, just to see how people can behave. And since then, everything he wrote since then, I actually instantly deleted, except for the interaction he had, just so I have proof, okay, he's a bully, he's not directly a bully, he's a toxic person, not gonna participate in that. So if you execute, instantly get those out, it's most of the time a good thing.
Away from them, and we all know that I suck at fighting games, and me getting kicked out won't really matter that much in the long run, so like...
So yeah, hats off to Dokibird, Victoria, and also Sajim and other people involved in the tournament for handling this so professionally, especially a very delicate situation. I think they did a really good job at making this work for everyone. But I also still feel really bad for Victoria Brightshield. Now, don't get me wrong, Nijisanji and a lot of their livers have plenty of things you can criticize them for, but in this case, I believe Victoria is completely innocent, and she's being unfairly punished for really some controversies she had nothing to do with.
Yes, but she also knows about those controversies and she still joined them. So you cannot see Victoria Brightshield as a 100% innocent person here. Even I would prefer that. But if you think what Nijisanji did over the couple last years, months, days, weeks, see it as you want, and somebody still joins them, you really have to ask yourself how the person that actually accepted this, how are they thinking? If they think this is okay, yeah, then sorry, no. Then maybe they don't know, but come on, you should inform yourself in what you're actually going in. You should know what you are dealing with. Even if you're naive. No, still, don't.
She was just a part of the agency, and now she is not allowed to publicly interact with Dokibird, who, by the way, she claimed, former Nijisanji talent, Selene before she became Dokibird, was one of her biggest inspirations when she joined Nijisanji less than a year ago. And of course, we know only a few months later, Selene would be terminated. She would return to her past life account, Dokibird. We had all this happen, and now she can't even interact with her in these tournaments.
Yeah.
It's got to be very frustrating and disappointing for someone who looked up to Selene/Dokibird for such a long time.
Yeah.
However, I want to really, again, commend Sejim for how he handled this whole situation. He also made some statements on his own stream, but I think it's really just kind of repeating the things that Dokibird...
And yes, it's basically Sejim did a good thing here. And Doki did also a good thing. But I mean, if I think about it, Doki is way longer in this thing than me, but I just cannot imagine a world where this was the actual correct choice, but we will never know. We won't ever know.
Bird said, and again, I think he did a really good job handling this in a very calm and straightforward manner, and really gave a lot of deference to Dokibird in this situation. He seemed to give her a lot of power in how this is all going to go down, especially... It's impressive, especially given the fact we're dealing with an agency on the other side of this. But of course, the teams have been announced, and you can see that Bright Shield is on this team and Dokibird's on this team. But if you look around, this is only a small snapshot of all the talents in this tournament. Very hyped up event, and it'll be fun to watch. And best of luck to everyone involved with that. But speaking of some more former Nijisanji talents, we're going to return to this tweet right here made yesterday. So you see this stream that is scheduled for release in the next 24 hours, titled The Truth. Now, the truth begins with the fact that this is the past life account of Hex Haywire, who recently graduated from Nijisanji EN. Now, what this whole video, this truth, is going to be about is really, my guess is as good as yours. But I've said, in wake of his graduation from Nijisanji, I think he has a lot of explaining to do. And I think if you've seen kind of the whole story about Hex Haywire and some controversies he's been involved with, unless you are a brainwashed Niji sister, I think you want some explanations out of him, because there have been 2 different occasions where he threw former talents under the bus to protect the reputation of Nijisanji when those former talents were really at their all-time low and they needed support, and Hex threw them under the bus. First...
Well, the fittest survive. Thinking. Not helping and interacting with others, no. If someone shows weakness, instantly execute them and get their place.
With the termination of Zion, now returning to her past life account, Sayu, he made a long statement after she was already being dogpiled in wake of her termination, where he compared her comments about a fictional character to his own childhood abuse. On top of that, back when Selene, now Dokibird, was terminated, he also gave his stamp of approval and shared the joint statement made by some of the EN livers, essentially throwing Dokibird under the bus and painting her as some unhinged person that they are now safe from in wake of everything that's happened. So what he's going to say in this video or stream is going to be very interesting. I wonder if he'll actually acknowledge any of this stuff. But then again, a lot of his fans just don't care. Because clearly they haven't cared the whole time they were supporting him when he was still at Nijisanji. So let's see what happens with that. But for now, that's going to do it for this video.
Okay, pretty interesting. But as it is, acolytes, good night.